Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay, I'm on a couple minutes early. I'm just going to start talking. Um, I'm sorry about the glare on my glasses. This isn't really like a studio, and I don't know how to fix it. I'm not going to try. Because I am a farmer. This is about riding, not beautiful productions. And although the rider's seat and what it contributes in the production of the riding is beautiful. And that is the topic today. I don't know where to put this thing. Just lay it like this. Okay, hopefully you can hear me okay. The rider's position is a formal way to talk to say the rider's position is the rider's seat. And that references the overall position, not only the base of support for which is the part of us that's touching the horse or our butts and backs of our thighs. But the entire seat is also in sort of formal circles. No, that's the whole riding position. So what is the rider's seat for? What is the rider's position for? Overall, the rider's position, us being on our horse, upon our horse, the way that the body is arranged is intended to be an information delivery instrument. So information is what is in my mind of what I want the horse to do. And that translates through my body into the natural aids. There's 4 natural aids. The information translates through my body via the language of the natural aids and into the horse, who has also been briefed and explained the meaning of the aids. So I know the meaning of the natural aids, and he also knows the meaning of the natural aids. And most of daily riding is calibrating them more and more ideally. That's pretty simple. Our riding position doesn't need to move or change the location of the body parts in order to impart the information. It's designed so that we are in the place that we are sitting and the information can go through to the horse. The 4 natural aids, you guys know this. There may be new people watching. I have no idea. The 4 natural aids are the voice, the seat and its weight, the leg, especially the leg at the girth, and the hand. These 4 natural aids are divided into 2 groups: the aids that are heard and the aids that are felt, the seat, leg, hand. Those are primarily the aids, seat, leg, hand, the aids that are felt, that we are talking about, that the position of the rider's body is the instrument for imparting those sensations to the horse. He feels them. He feels them, and we feel them. And feel isn't guesswork. And the aids aren't a vague language or a personal language. They are for sure. And I want to reference Harry Boldt. And every riding school, it's an expensive book and it's out of print, the big 1970s version. Man, get it. If you don't ride dressage horses, get the book, because there is no other source that has the natural aids written out from walk to halt through piaffe and passage and zigzags, canter zigzags, flying changes, tempi changes, all of those things. The aids are written out, and they're so they're not a mystery, and I don't want that. They shouldn't be a mystery, and the horse world holds them out like a mystery, like you have to have the right touch, but it isn't that. You have to know what they are. That's different. If you know what they are, you can get the right touch, and the right touch is through ourselves, inside ourselves, through into him. So that's why the rider's position is soft, and it remains as much as is possible. Plumb, ear, shoulder, hip, heel. Loose and plumb. If that's arranged, and then there's another straight line, elbow a bit, then the aids that are felt can be imparted to the horse so that he can feel them. And as I said a moment ago, he has been instructed the meaning of them, and the rider has also been instructed the meaning of them. And they don't have personal meanings. They mean very certain things. The weight of the seat on one side or the other means engage that hindquarter, specifically the coxofemoral joint. The leg at the girth, which, by the way, only functions after engagement by weight. So I engage the right hindquarter, my right leg comes on, he's going to pick with his right hindquarter and leg, he's going to advance. With his right hindquarter, he's going to bear the weight, and the leg will advance it. Now, I don't have to kick my leg every step. It's like, that means go, and you keep going until you're told otherwise, Simon says. Seat, leg, hand. In that order, seat, leg, hand. I don't have to move the location of my body to apply these things. In fact, the more perfectly I am set, resting upon him, the more perfectly the aids function. Okay, now I'm going to try screen sharing again because, and I'm also there, I'm going to go through a couple minutes of a older video with you guys, because I also want you to remember how fast this stuff happens. So the aids happen so fast. Let me get this. This is the screen I want, and I want it to be the whole screen. Okay. Okay, so here we see Harry Boldt's little diagram. I don't know how to do a pointer here. You can see the the circle and the leg on the left side, and both hands are connected. And we have active seat, butt on the left and on the left. And you're going to see a horse come trotting through on a left circle, and then these aids are going to switch over to the opposite side. It will go to the right seat and the right leg. They'll become solid, and the horse will then go to the right. Here we go. So there's the left aids. Here comes the horse. I know it's very shadowy, but I can't help it. And now it's switched over to the right. The horse is going to the right. And that was slowed down. This is super slowed down. This happens super fast. So now the weight of the right seat bone is going to make his right hindquarter engage. Here it is. And now that bumps into the right leg. That leg picks up. Here, the leg's coming on. And then he's going to be going. And the reins, the hand is directing, is detail on the direction. Here is diagrams of Harry Boldt. This is Harry Boldt's basic diagrams. I try to get this book. Get the old, expensive, out-of-print one from the 1970s. You don't need the German. You need these pictures. It's a very, very good resource, and it will combat the problem that you may be having instructing, that people think aids are individual. They are not. They are a language that is definite. So here is both seat bones on, legs on, hands go empty. That's going to make a horse go straight. Oh, here comes a phone call. Excellent. Hello there. I'm just Oh, thank you. Let me put you on speaker. I'm just finishing up showing a canter strike off. We have a collar, but the strike off here is inside seat bone, inside leg, inside hand goes empty, horse canters. So there you have it. I am going to pause this. Oh, let me just finish this collar. So right lead, right hand is empty. It's going to switch over to the other side. This is super slow motion. Horse changes leads. Okay. Hello, caller. Oh, I dropped the call. Shit. Seven, one. I have to call the call back.
I'll get back to you. At the
Hopefully,
tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press
she's
1
going to call right back.
to leave a callback.
You know, oops, I said her name. Okay, she must know I want her to call back. I want her to call back because she has so many people that she instructs, and I think she can shed some light on the confusion in the language. It's like, oh, here we go. Hello.
Connection.
How's that?
I think it's okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, hopefully people can hear you too, but we'll just go on anyway. And because I don't really know how to do it, the technology, but I think it's good. I'm really happy you called because you have a really good perspective on the misunderstanding in, oh, did the call drop? Are you still there? Okay, good. On people learning their position is for delivering the information of the aid of the riding through the natural aids, and I think people don't understand that connection, or that it's an instrument for information to the horse. What do you think?
I think if you hear it and you understand ear, shoulder, hip, heel, like you get the alignment, but until you understand the effectiveness of it in when it's actually happening and when it's very apparent, like for me, like the basic support, people like you can fix that fairly easily.
Yes.
It is the upper part of the line, and when it's purely vertical and dropping down, it becomes a weight aid, and it's super evident when you see it not working and then you correct it.
Yes.
Or completely changes because the weight aid is an actual is an aid itself. Like the vertical, I'm not saying it well either.
Yeah, it's literal. When we get the ear, shoulder, hip, heel lined up in looseness, the horse can feel the sensation of weight directed to either hindquarter or both. He can tell.
Yeah, and the tricky part is the looseness, because I was just you work with somebody and they're trying to get it, then as they shorten the reins, they use their shoulders. As they get their shoulders, they fall back to the back of too far back. Like really honing in that adjustability that's completely perpendicular to the horse.
Yes, perpendicular to the line of travel, actually, because the horse is going to, his outline is going to start going up the more aligned we get everything.
Yeah, the alignment vertically, but then also side to side. So like the idea of the two plumb line,
Yes, yes,
bilateral, not tipping or motorcycling or pulling or
yes,
that's a big piece, understanding that piece.
yes. I think it's helped me teaching when I've told people that that everyone seems to know about ear, shoulder, hip, heel, but they don't think about having an ear, shoulder, hip, heel on the right and an ear, shoulder, hip, heel on the left.
Yeah, I think the ultimate in being ambidextrous is using both sides of your body, and riding requires you to use both sides. And most people and horses be one-sided, so it's the complete training of the bilateralness of our body to be symmetrical, which is I don't really know if anyone's 100% symmetrical, but the closer you can get to it, the easier it is on the animal and on yourself.
Yes. What do you do and what kinds of, one thing I think that happens is people move their body parts in order to affect a change in the horse. How do you get in front of that mistake?
Say it again, move their body parts.
People tend to move their body parts to cause a change in the horse. How do you get in front of that mistake?
I think putting them on a horse that they can feel the properness is huge.
Yeah.
Can have a schoolmaster and you can work them in hand or something and let them feel what's happening, and I get them their brain and their butt to feel what's happening and to identify it. That's the first piece. That's a quicker way to do it, because most of them are so checked out or riding externally, riding in their hands or their head is down or the horse is pulling them, versus like that self-generated carrying going forward. It's a feel, and if you can identify the feel and they can own it quicker, then you can stay ahead of it. But also, I think I use analogies sometimes where you had a child on your shoulders and they were like leaning all over the place and shifting their weight right, left. How could you walk a straight line?
Exactly.
But if that person was sitting upright, elastic, and balanced, and you were like connected together, and you like there was a connection between you two, that was, you would be able to walk the line.
Yes.
They're monkeying around up there trying to get stuff, but they're displacing themselves and making it harder for the horse.
Yes. And if the little kid on your back if the little kid saw an ice cream truck on the right half a mile away and indicated, if the kid was balanced on your back and just indicated ice cream truck on right, you would feel that if the kid was soft and loose on top, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if they turn their head to the right to look at the ice cream truck, you feel it down your right side.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so a tiny weight can then oscillate a fine balance. Yes.
So I think sometimes feeling like getting that feel to them. I think the quickest way, they talk about motor planning when you're learning a new motor plan,
Yes.
you have to, first of all, fail sometimes. You have to go to these extremes, but then you have to have somebody help you identify when it's right, and it's called an aha moment.
Yes.
Have that, oh yeah, I feel it. You can identify it, then, and you can even like label it or own it, then you can go back and find it quicker. But if you never have that aha moment, you're like searching all the time.
Schoolmasters and lunging can lead to those aha moments. And then how do you get people to believe that the horses can follow along the aids as writ, that the aids are the aids and the horses will do it?
I think again, you put them on a trained horse, and they look at the line, look to the line, put the weight on the line, the horse turns, and they all have these like, oh my god, it worked.
It does. It is like that.
The Martian.
Yes, it is. That's funny. Yes. And one of the main things I wanted to get across today about what the position is for I've learned over many years that if I have people practice delivering the natural aids, it will improve their position. I don't try to make their position look good without the natural aids. What's your experience with that?
It's a big one for me because as a training person that looks at the body,
Yeah.
I easily, and I have easily gotten stuck in just position corrections
Okay.
and position corrections that never went into the riding.
Okay. Very good.
I plunge the best of them. I could make correct positions, but then to take it into the aids of riding. So I think you were the first one who got me to really think more about that. Actually, another person did as well. But like a simple turn on the forehand, for example, it's amazing if you do it right, how subtle it is, but how many people want to monkey around and do all this weird stuff, including myself. I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But by making it, owning those simple turn on the forehand, on the haunches, walk halt transitions, and somebody really holding your feet to the fire
Yeah.
and being your verbal mirror and helping you identify your feel.
Well said.
Me, that's the quickest way to learn.
Yeah, I think making riding exercises and showing our math, like having to show our long division in 5th grade math. When we do a simple turn, when we make a turn on the forehand, when we make a travers, when we make a strike off, canter strike off in a change of rein, that we recite the aids and make sure that our body is participating in the in the natural aids only and not extra stuff. That's what I think is the most. It's hard though. It's hard to get people to
Participate.
yeah. They want it to be hard. They want it to be more complicated than that.
Well, also they want, like if you say recite it, I want to hear you say it. You know, and people won't say anything, and I'm like, I just asked you to say it, like you say it,
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do that.
like speaking out loud. Exhale, soften, soften all joints.
Yeah. Inside weight comes on, shorten inside rein, vanish inside rein, horse canters. Yeah. And um they're just there's the seat, leg, and hand combined. It's under, I think all the various combinations of seat, leg, hand, whether the leg's at the girth, behind the girth, right leg, left leg, and then the basic rein actions. I think that there's less than 30 combinations. It's just not that much to kind of get a hold of. But I think that not enough trainers are teaching that language of the natural aids. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that, yeah, I agree. And again, when you go to a good writing instructor and they say it's simple, you're like, oh, it can't be simple. It has to be complicated. Simpleness is how complicated it is because it's that simple. You just follow, like you said, recite the aids, and do the aids. There's something I can't remember where I learned something about anchoring movement. Like if you know how you do a jingle, like remember it by singing it.
Yes, yes, like there's a tune in your head from it. Yeah.
The cranial nerves. So I had this way that I moved my body and said it. And now to this day, I can still do that little pattern and I know it.
Oh my God, that is a great idea for teaching. I didn't think of that. Yes, that's why reciting can be helpful.
That's because it anchors it. It anchors it in the motor plan. So when you're verbally doing something, so when I say C1, 2, 3, and I have this little dance that I do, I know all where my cranial nerves are from back when I was in school.
Wow, that might be why the old masters had certain simple tunes they whistled to the horses in their early training. Interesting. That's really good. And and one other thing I want to highlight that I hope other instructors will highlight is that the aids aren't personal and feel isn't guesswork.
Right.
All right, well.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think holding people accountable to knowing the information,
Yeah, thank you.
holding them accountable to knowing the information. And, you know, I heard it millions of times, but you've got to know the basics. And I wanted to go out and do all these tricks.
Yeah.
The basics were missing.
Yep. And now basics has become a buzzword that's lost its meaning, but the basics really must include knowing the natural aids and their meaning
Yes.
by heart. Not what we think their meaning is, what their real meaning is.
If you walked into a lesson and you asked it probably to, I don't know, how many of people, what are the natural aids and what are the artificial aids and what's the, you know what I mean? You get like crickets.
Exactly. And especially then if you said, what should the horse do when it feels these aids in this order?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that I think is our marching orders as instructors to start teaching that. Do you know a better resource than Harry Bolt's book to diagram, to show us those natural aids? I don't know a better resource.
That was a game changer for me when somebody gave me or told me to go buy that book.
Yeah.
Way. That was all like already written there.
It's already written down. We don't have to outsmart it or figure it out. It's like the whole map of everything is already written down there. I'm going to put a link for that book in the description for this office hours video. And I hope other instructors get it. Okay, I think this is great. Do you have anything more you want to add?
No, I don't actually have to head off to a meeting.
Okay, thank you very much for calling in. It's really interesting to talk to you because of the sheer number of riders and instructors and horses you manage. You have a unique perspective on this. Thank you.
All right, enjoyed it. Thanks so much.
Bye. Okay, I think we have here's another, and it's online. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, please unmute yourself. Hello. Can you hear me? I don't know if she's there. She's muted. They're now unmuted. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can.
Hello, we have
Hello.
another instructor calling in. Yay.
Yes.
Have you been listening so far? Have you been able to hear what we were saying?
I was teaching, and so I've just caught the last 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But we do teach the natural aids here and in the order in which they're used, and it works well for all of our riders.
Good.
With their various disabilities and issues.
That's excellent. And it keeps the horses a little bit squared away when those things are very consistent.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
What about
So I will be.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
When we're done, I'm going to watch the beginning part of this because I missed most of it. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole thing.
Oh, good. Thank you. And I'm going to add a couple videos in the link in the description part. But you've already seen them, you know them, but it's always good, probably good to see them again. Do you have any other thoughts or questions or statements you want to make about what the rider's position is for? That I think that the rider's position really has a job to do. It's not to look pretty, even though it does look pretty when it does its job.
Yeah. We were having a staff lesson this morning, and our instructor said, you have to be in balance so your horse can carry you. If we're not balanced or we're doing something weird with our shoulders, the horse cannot carry us properly. We can't help our horse get through. And so it really begins with us. It's our responsibility to stay in position so the horse can carry us.
Yes, and the only way we can stay in position is by looseness.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes,
Well,
yes.
I think
Thanks.
we've been thorough. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. I look forward to next week's.
Yes, me too. And I don't know, we're going to talk about something with position. I don't know what, but I think that
Okay,
ends office hours for today.
all right. Thank you, Jane.
Bye, Sherry.